A wall of muscle and horns explodes through the trees. The ground shakes beneath your bare feet. Birds burst into the sky. Someone screams behind you, but you can't tell if it's a warning or a final breath. The wounded aurochs is no longer running from the hunters. It's charging straight at you. Your fingers tighten around your spear until they ache. Your sweaty grip slips. The spear tumbles into the grass. Wonderful timing. The beast closes the distance in heartbeats, its breath steaming through flared nostrils, its massive hooves tearing chunks of earth into the air. You freeze. Every lesson about courage disappears beneath one simple thought. You're going to die. A heavy body slams into yours. You crash into the dirt as another hunter throws you aside. The auroch storms past so close that one horn slices through your tangled hair, before vanishing into the trees with the rest of the hunting party chasing after it. Silence lasts only a moment. Then come the sounds you don't want to hear. Heavy breathing, pain, someone groaning through clenched teeth. The man who saved your life clutches his side where a horn caught him. Blood darkens his fur clothing. Nobody blames you out loud. They don't have to. The looks are worse. You almost turn today's hunt into today's funeral. By sunset, the tribe drags home enough meat to survive another few days. Smoke rises from fresh fires. Fat drips into the flames, filling the cold evening air with the smell of food your empty stomach has dreamed about for weeks. Children gather first, then the elders, then the hunters who stood their ground. You wait until nearly everyone has eaten, before a small strip of meat lands in your hands. It's tough, barely enough to quiet the ache inside your stomach. Nobody argues. You've earned exactly this much. In this world, kindness isn't free. Every mouth must pay for itself. Winter is never far away, and food disappears faster than hope. A hunter who cannot hunt isn't simply unlucky. He's dangerous. Every failed throw means another family eats less tomorrow. You stare into the flames as sparks rise into the sky. For the first time, you wonder if the tribe is counting meals, or counting the days until they stop sharing them with you altogether. The fire has always felt warm, not because it chases away the cold, but because it reminds you that, somehow, you've survived another night. You almost didn't. Long before you could remember faces, your first winter nearly swallowed you whole. Your mother wrapped you in stitched animal hides while icy wind slipped through the cracks of your shelter. You were too weak to cry for long. The elders quietly watched the entrance, saying nothing. In a world with little food, nature often made hard choices for people. Somehow, it didn't choose you. By the time you're old enough to run, the other children already throw small spears with surprising accuracy. Their sticks strike tree trunks. Yours barely travel farther than your own shadow. They wrestle for fun. You struggle to carry a bundle of firewood without stopping to catch your breath. Nobody laughs. That would waste energy. Instead, they simply stop asking you to join. So you search for other ways to matter. You learn where berries survive after the first frost, which roots hide beneath frozen soil, which mushrooms bring food, and which bring a very quiet death. You notice tiny bird tracks the hunters ignore. You remember where fresh water still flows after dry weeks. While others chase strength, you collect details. They don't fill stomachs. At least, that's what everyone believes. Then the seasons grow cruel. Rain refuses to come when it should. Herds move farther across the plains. Every hunting trip lasts longer than the last. When the hunters finally return, they're thinner than when they left, carrying less meat and more silence. The camp changes. Children stop playing. The old chew slowly, pretending they're full. Even the dogs stop barking so often. Hunger drains the sound from everything. Then one morning, the strongest hunters leave before sunrise to follow fresh tracks beyond the familiar valleys. You watch them disappear between towering pines, their stone spearheads catching the first light. They never return. Days pass. No smoke appears on distant hills. No footsteps echo through the forest. Only wolves answer the night. No one says what everyone is thinking. They aren't lost. They're gone. The tribe cannot wait for ghosts. Fresh spears are carved. New hunting parties are formed. Strong hands become painfully scarce. And suddenly, nobody can afford to ignore the weakest hunter anymore. A sharpened spear is pressed into your palms. Its weight feels wrong. Too heavy. Too important. Tomorrow, you won't be gathering roots or watching footprints in the mud. Tomorrow, the tribe will depend on you to help bring back meat. Dawn arrives without mercy. The air bites your lungs as you follow the remaining hunters into the endless forest. Frost clings to every blade of grass. Your stomach is still empty from yesterday's tiny meal, yet you're expected to chase animals that can outrun, outfight, and outlast you. Nobody says a word. Talking scares prey. The only sounds are feet crushing leaves, distant birds, and your own heartbeat hammering in your ears. Fresh tracks appear beside a stream. Deer. Hope returns for exactly 1 minute. Then the wind changes. The scent you've all been hiding is suddenly carried straight ahead. The tracks scatter. Somewhere in the trees, hooves explode into motion. Gone. The oldest hunter closes his eyes for a moment. Nobody curses. There isn't enough energy for anger anymore. So you keep moving. Hours pass. The forest grows darker. Thick clouds swallow the sun, and a cold rain begins to fall. Every branch becomes slick beneath your fingers. Every footprint melts into mud. You realize something terrifying. You aren't tracking the forest anymore. A deep growl rolls through the trees. Not close. Closer than you'd like. Another answers from somewhere behind. Wolves. Congratulations. You've gone from hunting dinner to looking suspiciously like it. The group tightens together, spears pointing outward. Yellow eyes flicker between the trunks, disappearing whenever you try to focus on them. They aren't attacking. They're waiting. Waiting for someone tired, someone slow, someone like you. The hunters push forward, hoping to reach open ground before darkness falls. Rain turns into a downpour. Branches whip across your face. You stumble over a hidden root, sliding down a muddy slope. By the time you stop falling, they're gone. You leap to your feet. You shout once. The forest swallows your voice. You are alone. Panic tells you to run. You almost listen. Instead, you force yourself to breathe. Running without direction is how people disappear forever. You kneel in the mud. Broken fern, fresh scrape on a stone, a snapped twig pointing downhill. Small things. The same small things you've spent your whole life noticing, while stronger people laughed and walked past them. You follow them. Slowly, carefully. The wolves stay nearby. You hear paws splashing through shallow water. Once you catch a gray shape drifting between the trees before it melts back into the shadows. You don't chase food anymore. You chase survival. As evening closes in, you find a narrow, rocky ledge overlooking a stream. It's too steep for wolves to rush, and the stone stays dry beneath an overhang. You gather fallen branches, strike sparks from flint, and nurse a tiny fire into life. The flames are pitiful. They're beautiful. For the first time all day, the wolves keep their distance. Morning brings another challenge. The rain has stopped, revealing the forest like a fresh page. New tracks cover the soft earth. Most belong to rabbits and foxes. Then you see something else. A wounded deer. One hoof drags through the mud, leaving an uneven trail. A stronger hunter would sprint after it. You don't. You know injured animals are dangerous when cornered. You move slowly, watching broken branches, listening more than looking. Hours later, you find it trapped against a fallen tree, too exhausted to run. One careful throw, one clean strike. Enough meat to keep a family alive. You stare at the animal in disbelief. All your life, People measured hunters by how hard they could throw. Nobody measured how patiently they could wait. You lift the carcass onto your shoulders, every step burning with exhaustion. For the first time, you don't feel like the weakest hunter. Then smoke rises above the trees. Home. Relief floods through you, until you notice something else. The smoke is far too thick, and it isn't drifting from cooking fires. Your pace quickens. The deer's weight crushes your shoulders, but fear is suddenly heavier. The closer you get, the stronger the smell becomes. Not roasted meat, burning wood, burning hides, burning everything. You break through the tree line expecting to find your camp alive with celebration. Instead, you find that several shelters have collapsed into blackened piles. Spears lie scattered across the ground. The people who remain move slowly through the ruins, searching for anything that survived. No one rushes to greet you. They simply look at you, then at the deer. Relief flickers across exhausted faces before disappearing beneath grief. A lightning strike, a dry roof, a single spark carried by the wind. Nature didn't care that your tribe was already starving. You lower the deer onto the ground. Knives of chipped stone immediately begin their careful work. Every strip of meat matters now. Every hide can become shelter. Every bone will be broken for marrow before the sun sets. This time, no one hands you the smallest portion. You eat beside the other hunters, not because you've become the strongest, because you've become useful.